Chosen one, God is lifting you up. God lifting you. This message isn't for the crowd. It's not meant for those who blend in or bow down to fear. This message is for the one who kept going, even when it didn't make sense. For the one who walked through the fire and still didn't lose their light. You've been stretched, pressed, tested in ways most will never understand. And now, in this very hour, God is lifting you. Not because you demanded it, but because He already destined it. He saw your quiet tears. He heard your hidden prayers. And now, the heavens are shifting for your rise. Before we continue, I want to encourage you to watch this message until the very end. There's something in these words your spirit has been waiting to receive. And if you feel it, I want you to write your warmest wishes in the comments along with 99 and 777 and subscribe for this glory journey. This isn't just a video. It's confirmation. It's activation. It's alignment. You've been walking through a season that has demanded every ounce of strength you didn't even know you had. You've been stripped of people, places, and plans you thought would go with you into the next level. But God needed your spirit to be light for the lifting. Heavy things don't rise, and you, chosen one, are no longer meant to carry what was never yours. That heartbreak, released. That betrayal, healed. That silence, now being filled with divine direction. The lifting of God doesn't always begin with applause. Sometimes it begins in the dark, when no one is watching, when you're barely holding on, when you're asking if you've been forgotten. But that's when He starts preparing the platform. That's when the shift begins in the unseen. You see, your foundation was shaken, not to break you, but to build you up stronger. You weren't buried, you were planted, and now it's your time to rise. The rise doesn't always feel like rising at first. It can feel like confusion, like letting go of what felt familiar, like walking by faith when nothing around you confirms the vision inside you. But God doesn't lift based on logic. He lifts based on promise, on calling, on divine appointment. And right now, whether you can feel it or not, the spiritual elevator is moving. You're being taken to a place that your pain prepared you for. You've asked for answers, but what you're about to receive is elevation. Because some questions can only be answered by where He's about to take you. The higher you go, the clearer things become. The lies fall away. The distractions lose their power. The noise fades. You're stepping into a space where clarity lives, where power rests, where your authority awakens. This is not the season to doubt your worth. This is the season to wear your crown. You didn't crawl through hell to walk into heaven insecure. You didn't survive all that loss just to question whether you're qualified. If God is lifting you, it's because you're ready. Not perfect, but positioned. Not flawless, but chosen. And chosen doesn't mean it will be easy. It means it will be worth it. Some of you have been in hiding, not physically, but spiritually. You've been waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right confirmation to step out. This is that moment. This is that sign. This is that calling. You're not just being lifted, you're being launched. And what felt like delay was divine preparation. What looked like rejection was redirection. What seemed like silence was set up. When God lifts you, He does it completely. Not just your circumstances, your perspective, your confidence, your energy, your voice. You will look around and not recognize the life He built around your healing. You will step into rooms your name reached before you ever entered. You will attract connections you didn't chase because God sent them. You will wake up in peace without needing to fight for it. This lifting is spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. You're being lifted out of patterns that no longer serve your future. You're being lifted into clarity that silences confusion, into boundaries that protect your joy, into authority that no longer asks for permission to exist. God is elevating the parts of you that were buried under other people's opinions, under old wounds, under survival mode. He's calling the true you forth. And when God lifts, it's not for vanity, it's for vision. You're not rising just to rise. You're rising because there's impact tied to your obedience. There are lives connected to your yes. There are doors that open only when you arrive. You're not the hero of everyone's story, but you are a light in someone's darkness. And this new elevation is making sure they can see you shine. So walk boldly now. Walk like the one who's been chosen. Walk like the one who's been preserved. Walk like the one God Himself placed His hand on. You don't need to force it. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to prove it. This is not about trying. It's about aligning. Let your steps match your calling. Let your peace be your confirmation. Let your glow be the only explanation. You are not who you were last season. You're not even who you were last week. God is accelerating things in your life that had been paused for years. He's lifting timelines. He's releasing backup. He's sending unexpected favor. And it will happen so suddenly, you'll feel like you're living in a dream. But this is real. This is now. This is yours. And the most powerful part of the lift is what's happening inside of you. You are believing again, trusting again, loving again, showing up again. You are rising with a new heart, with a new lens, with a new fire. And no matter who doubted you, who forgot you, who left you, God didn't. He's been building this moment for you all along. There's a stillness that comes before the lifting, a quiet pull in your spirit that tells you something is shifting, even if nothing outside has changed yet. That stillness is not emptiness. It's divine alignment. It's God whispering, "Be still and watch." You've done the planting. You've done the pressing. You've done the praying. Now comes the part that isn't up to you. Now comes the part where the supernatural begins to move in ways your hands never could. You are not being lifted for attention. You are being lifted for assignment. The elevation isn't just a reward. It's a recognition. It's a signal in the spirit realm that your heart has passed the tests of obscurity. You've learned what it means to serve quietly, to love loudly, and to obey even when it hurt. And now your reward is motion, movement, momentum, not chaos, but calculated steps, ordered by something higher than human logic. Don't be surprised when people around you start sensing the shift too. Don't be shocked when your presence feels different, when your words carry more weight, when your silence commands more peace than your voice once did. That's what divine lifting does. It redefines your atmosphere. It reconfigures your energy. It introduces you to a version of yourself that was hidden under all the layers of the past. And here's the thing, this lift is not just for a moment. It's not just a temporary high or a flash of breakthrough. It's foundational. What God is doing in your life now has permanence. He's not just giving you a glimpse of greatness, He's planting you in it. This isn't hype. This is home. This is the level you were built for. You just had to go through the wilderness to realize it. You may have felt forgotten, overlooked, even punished. But in reality, you were being positioned, hidden in plain sight, protected from premature exposure, covered while you healed, nurtured while you grew. You were being fortified, not abandoned. And now the cocoon is cracking. The layers are peeling. The light is flooding in. You are no longer buried. You are breaking out. You'll notice that certain environments no longer feel right. That's not rejection. That's realignment. Elevation doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it comes with disconnection. The places you used to fit will start to feel too small. The conversations that used to excite you will now feel empty. The people you once chased will start to fade without explanation. That's because your soul knows where it's going, even when your mind hasn't caught up yet. Let it fall away. Let it all go. If it can't rise with you, it was never meant to go. Some things served their season. Some people served their purpose. You don't need to drag them into your destiny. You don't need to justify your journey. You are not being prideful. You are being pulled. And the difference is divine. The lifting may feel uncomfortable at first. It stretches you, challenges you. It makes you confront the version of yourself you've outgrown. But that's how you rise, by releasing. You can't carry the old you into the new place. The bitterness, let it go. The guilt, lay it down. The fear, give it to God. There is no room for baggage at the next level. The altitude is too high for anything but truth. And that truth is this: you are worthy of this rise. You are capable of this call. You are aligned with this new assignment. You don't need more signs. You don't need more opinions. You just need to step into it. Own it. Live it. Become it. This is not about trying harder. It's about trusting deeper. Trusting that the same force that brought you through the valley is now leading you to the mountain. You are not the exception. You are the example. You are the one who will prove that healing is possible, that restoration is real, that favor can follow the brokenhearted, that peace is not earned, it's received. You are not just telling the story. You are becoming the story. And your story is about to take a turn no one saw coming, not even you. So breathe, chosen one. Breathe in this moment. Let the weight of the past fall off your shoulders. Let the lightness of the lift wrap around you. Feel it in your chest, in your spine, in your thoughts. This is what freedom feels like. This is what purpose feels like. This is what resurrection looks like in real time. The world won't understand your rise, and they don't have to. This isn't about proving anything to them. This is about fulfilling everything in you. The vision that kept you up at night, the whisper that followed you through pain, the sense that you were meant for more, even when you had nothing to show for it. That sense wasn't a fantasy. It was foresight. You are rising now because the world needs what you carry. The timing is divine. The doors are opening. The winds are shifting. The spotlight is coming, not to flatter you, but to illuminate what God placed in you. And as you step into it, don't dim your light. Don't shrink your voice. Don't apologize for the anointing. Own it with grace. Carry it with love. Release it with humility. Because this elevation isn't about ego, it's about impact. You are the chosen one, and God is lifting you up for a reason. You've been trained in silence, prepared in isolation, molded in moments no one else witnessed. While others were chasing platforms, you were building character. While they were performing, you were transforming. The stage you're stepping onto now wasn't given. It was earned through pain, through obedience, through surrender. And that's why the lift is lasting, because it's built on something solid. Elevation without foundation leads to collapse, but yours has roots, deep ones. You've stood in storms that could have ended you. You've cried prayers no one else heard. You've kept going when quitting would have made more sense. That's not weakness, that's divine endurance. That's the proof that you were never walking alone. that even in the shadows, God was shaping your wings. Now you are being lifted, not into the spotlight, but into divine clarity. You are no longer guessing. You are no longer settling. You are no longer entertaining anything that distracts from your destiny. The fog is clearing. The noise is silencing. And what's left is vision. Clean, pure, unstoppable vision. In this season, don't expect everyone to cheer for you. Some will misunderstand your movement. Some will mislabel your growth. Some will even resent your rising, not because of who you are, but because of how clearly you now reflect who they are not willing to become. But that's not your burden. Your job is not to convince anyone of your worth. Your job is to walk in it, quietly, boldly, unapologetically. This is a sacred season. Don't waste your energy explaining your elevation. You don't need to announce what God is doing. It will be seen. It will be felt. The fruit will speak for itself. Focus on the assignment. Let the distractions fall away, because what's ahead of you requires all of you. No divided loyalty, no half-hearted effort, no compromise. This is full immersion into your calling. You'll begin to see signs, not just external ones, but internal confirmations. Peace where there used to be panic, excitement where there used to be dread, momentum where there used to be resistance. That's how you know you're in alignment. You're no longer forcing doors open. They're swinging wide at your approach. You're no longer begging for opportunity. It's magnetizing to your energy. God is orchestrating divine setups, conversations that will shift everything, connections that feel like home, solutions that show up out of nowhere, and you won't have to manipulate a single thing. What's for you will recognize you. What's sent will stay. What's aligned will flow. That's the power of elevation that comes from above. It doesn't exhaust you. It energizes you. Don't be surprised if you start to see people leaving your life, not through drama, but through divine distancing. Some of them have completed their purpose in your journey. Some were never meant to stay for the full story. Release them with love. Honor the chapter, but don't delay the next page, trying to keep old characters. God is making room for the new, and the new won't always look shiny. Sometimes the new is peace. Sometimes it's simplicity. Sometimes it's solitude. The elevation isn't always loud. Often it's quiet, subtle, gentle, but powerful. You'll look back and realize the lift didn't come with a crash of thunder. It came with a whisper in your soul that said, "It's time." Don't fear this next level. You were made for it. The very things that intimidated you before will now feel natural. The roles that once seemed too big will now feel like a perfect fit. Because the lifting isn't just about location, it's about transformation. God is not just taking you to something, He's growing you into someone. This version of you carries wisdom, not wounds, discernment, not desperation, standards, not fear. You don't move to impress, you move to impact. You don't chase validation, you embody value. This is the shift. This is the evolution. This is the rising that turns silent seasons into roaring victories. And it's okay if you still feel the remnants of your past, the shadows of where you came from, the echoes of who you used to be. But don't let them define you. Let them remind you, not of pain, but of progress. You're not there anymore. You're not stuck. You're not overlooked. You're not invisible. You are chosen, and you are being lifted. Everything that's happening now is intentional. Every closed door, every delayed plan, every moment of confusion. It's not punishment, it's preparation. God is rerouting your path for precision, for protection, for promise. So lean in, trust the wind that's carrying you higher. Don't resist the flow. Don't retreat in fear. Don't run from the unknown. This is not your fall. This is your flight. And yes, flight requires faith, but you've built it step by step, through trials, through silence, through resistance. You've cultivated faith not just as a concept, but as your compass. And now it's leading you into wide open space, into purpose without apology, into joy without conditions, into fullness without fear. Chosen one, this lifting is not random. It's not a mistake. It's not a temporary blessing. It's divine timing. It's years of preparation converging into this one sacred moment where heaven says, now. This moment has been waiting for you. It didn't skip you. It didn't forget you. It simply waited until you were ready. And now, chosen one, you are. Ready not because you know everything, but because you've surrendered. You've released control. You've dropped the old survival patterns that once protected you, but now only delay your flight. And because of that release, your rise begins to accelerate. You are entering a season where everything you touch begins to grow, not by force, but by flow. Your energy will shift spaces before you even speak. Your presence will plant seeds without trying. People will sense the power on you, even if they can't name it. That's because you're not being lifted for show. You're being lifted for service. You're a vessel now, a conduit of something bigger than words. You are moving as a living answer to someone else's prayer. And that's why this elevation requires purity. Not perfection, but purity. A clear heart, a steady mind, a calm spirit. You won't need to be flashy. You won't need to compete. You won't need to imitate. The anointing will do the heavy lifting. The favor will go before you. The alignment will find you. And your only job is to stay grounded while being lifted. The world around you may look the same, but your inner world is shifting rapidly. You no longer crave what once distracted you. You no longer settle for halfway connections. You no longer give your power away in exchange for crumbs. The old version of you might still knock at the door, whispering doubts, reminding you of your flaws. But now, you don't answer. You recognize it for what it is. Fear dressed in memory. And fear doesn't rule here anymore. Your choices are beginning to reflect your elevation. You pause before speaking. You walk away from chaos without explanation. You choose stillness over proving your point. You seek alignment, not attention. That's elevation in motion, not loud, but firm. Not boastful, but undeniable. And it confuses people who haven't seen you like this before. Let it confuse them. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to be true to the new version of yourself that God is calling forward. There will be tests. Every elevation comes with them, not to derail you, but to refine you, to make sure you're not just passing through this level, but owning it. The temptations will come, to shrink, to retreat, to question. But you will stand, because this time, your confidence is not built on outcomes. It's built on knowing who you are, and more importantly, who sent you. The lift you're experiencing is taking you above the noise, above the patterns that once trapped you, above the limitations placed on you. This is not escape. This is emergence. And emergence is different. It's not about leaving the world. It's about rising within it, standing tall, grounded in your soul, while chaos swirls beneath you, untouched. That is the kind of elevation that cannot be reversed, because it starts inside. You will begin to experience more suddenlies, sudden clarity, sudden connections, sudden resolutions. The things you've been waiting years for will come quickly now, not because you hustled harder, but because you're finally in the right vibration to receive them. The waiting wasn't wasted. It was working in you, making room, breaking chains. And now that space is open, heaven is filling it with everything you once dreamed of, and more. But hear this, the lift is not just about breakthrough. It's about becoming. It's about growing into the kind of person who can handle the blessing, sustain the favor, protect the peace. You are no longer someone who prays only for miracles. You are someone who embodies them, someone who is the miracle, because your life is a living sign that survival is not the end. Transformation is. So don't be surprised when you feel unfamiliar to yourself, when you say no to things you once chased, when you choose silence instead of proving your point, when you prioritize rest over performing. These aren't mistakes, these are upgrades. Your soul is calibrating to your new altitude. The air is thinner here, but it's purer. You breathe differently. You move differently. You require more intentionality, less chaos. Welcome to the new frequency. And as you rise, so will your discernment. You will start to see people more clearly, their intentions, their wounds, their projections. But don't let that harden you. Stay soft, stay clear, stay kind, but stay rooted. You don't have to carry them. You just have to carry light. Some will rise with you. Others will step back. Bless them all and keep walking. You are not abandoning anyone. You are obeying the pull that is lifting you. And when it feels scary, remember this. The fear you feel isn't a warning. It's a sign you're expanding. Fear always shows up at the gates of the unfamiliar. But that doesn't mean stop. It means step in. Every great shift will require you to become more than you were yesterday. And you're doing it. Right now. Every breath, every decision, every quiet moment of trust. The lift continues, not in a flash, but in a rhythm. And you are catching that rhythm now. You're syncing with something ancient and eternal. The very heartbeat of heaven is aligning with yours. You are not separate from it. You are part of it. And because of that, your path is sacred. Every step is ordered. Every move is meaningful. Even your detours were divine. This part of your journey requires a new kind of trust, not the type that clings to visible proof or predictable outcomes, but the kind that walks forward when the path still looks invisible. You've been led here not to see everything, but to feel everything, to learn how to move when the only thing guiding you is the conviction in your spirit. That's divine lifting. It doesn't come with a manual. It comes with a knowing. And that knowing is getting stronger. It's no longer a whisper. It's a roar. You can feel it when you wake up. You can sense it when you step into certain spaces. You can hear it in the silence between your thoughts. This is the frequency of alignment. This is the vibration of truth. It's telling you exactly where to go, what to release, who to become. You no longer second guess it. You honor it. You follow it. You rise with it. And as you do, your inner world begins to harmonize. The chaos that once dominated your mind now feels like a memory from another lifetime. The fear that used to grip you no longer has a home. The scarcity you once carried in your thoughts now dissolves under the weight of gratitude. This is not just emotional, it's energetic. You are rising in frequency, rising in faith, rising in vision. And as you rise, the world around you responds. Because when you change your vibration, you change your reality. People will treat you differently, not because you ask them to, but because you no longer entertain anything that pulls you backward. You walk with different posture. You speak with deeper presence. You enter rooms with your crown already on. Not because of arrogance, but because of awareness. You finally know who you are, and you move like it. This lift is not just about circumstances changing, it's about cycles ending. No more repeating the same lessons. No more circling the same patterns. No more being baited into energy-draining drama. You've outgrown it. You see through it. And now, you're no longer playing roles to make others comfortable. You're not available for performative peace. You are choosing truth. And with that choice, you are lifted higher. But let's be clear. This kind of elevation requires boundaries. It asks you to say no, even when it feels uncomfortable. To walk away, even when the door is wide open. To protect your peace like it's your greatest currency, because it is. Without peace, you can't hear your intuition. Without peace, your vision gets blurry. And what you're building now requires crystal clarity, sacred focus, quiet power. You are building a future that's not reactive, but intentional. A life designed by alignment, not survival. And this future isn't just about what you do, it's about how you become. You are becoming someone who trusts deeply, loves freely, moves boldly. Someone who listens to the whisper before the noise. Someone who doesn't need to be the loudest in the room, because their spirit already speaks. And as this version of you unfolds, miracles will become normal. What used to feel impossible will become expected. You will look at your life and see evidence of the divine in every detail, in the timing, in the encounters, in the messages that arrive at just the right moment. This is what alignment looks like. It's not luck, it's design. You are not being lifted randomly. You are being lifted intentionally. So don't rush it. Don't try to skip the process. The beauty of divine lifting is that it unfolds with precision. Every moment is a step. Every delay has meaning. Every obstacle carries wisdom. What looks like a pause is often just preparation for the next level. And what feels like a setback is usually the setup for a more powerful rise. Trust that. There will be days when the old tries to call you back. Old habits, old connections, old narratives. But you'll notice something has changed. They no longer feel like home. They no longer fit. That's the lift working. That's your spirit evolving. That's your alignment becoming stronger than your attachment. Let that empower you. Let it remind you that growth isn't always comfortable, but it is always necessary. And as you expand, the discomfort transforms into power. The uncertainty becomes your playground. You learn to dance with the unknown, to smile at what hasn't happened yet, to bless what is still becoming. That's when you know you've stepped into divine rhythm. And once you're there, once you're in that flow, nothing can stop you. Not because you're invincible, but because you're aligned. Because you're moving in sync with a higher purpose. Because the lift is no longer an event. It's your lifestyle. It's how you move, how you breathe, how you respond to life. So from now on, walk differently, speak differently, dream differently. Not from ego, but from elevation. Not from fear, but from flow. Know that you are being watched over, guided, and guarded. Not by force, but by favor. You've been chosen. You've been lifted. You are walking in the very thing you once only prayed for. And this is just the beginning. You can feel it now, the difference in how you wake up. There's a calm, a centeredness, a clarity that didn't used to be there. And it's not because everything is perfect, but because you're anchored. Anchored in truth, anchored in alignment, anchored in the quiet knowing that you are not where you were, and you are never going back. You have been lifted, and the shift is irreversible. You're no longer desperate for external signs, because the evidence is in your breath, in your stillness, in the way peace greets you before panic, in the way your spirit now refuses to fight for what you've outgrown. That's not arrogance, that's elevation. It's a clear sign that the inner work has taken root. And now, your outer world is beginning to reflect that inner power. Doors are opening, not because you forced them, but because you aligned with them. You've stopped knocking where you're not meant to be. You've stopped chasing what was never meant for you. And as a result, what's meant for you is finding its way effortlessly. It's not magic, it's mastery. The mastery of self, of stillness, of surrender. And that surrender is powerful because it's not giving up, it's giving over. It's saying, I trust the timing, I trust the process, I trust that what's unfolding is bigger than anything I could script on my own. That kind of trust is what accelerates the lift. It's what creates space for divine intervention. Because when you stop trying to control everything, you make room for everything better. You're learning that rest is part of the rise. That silence is often more strategic than speaking. That disappearing doesn't mean you've lost momentum. It means you're incubating, being fortified, being prepared. That's what this lifting has done to you. It's made you more intentional, more discerning, more protective of your power. Your elevation didn't come from performance. It came from presence, from being fully in your body, fully in your moment, fully in your truth. You're no longer performing to be accepted. You're no longer contorting yourself to be loved. You are showing up as you are and watching the right things gravitate toward you. That's divine lifting in motion. And as you elevate, you will be asked to hold more responsibility, more visibility, more power. But don't let that intimidate you. Let it awaken you. You're not being promoted to impress others. You're being promoted because you can handle it now. You've built the character. You've proven your resilience. You've weathered the tests. And now you're trusted with more. But with more comes the sacred call to remain light. Not light in weight, but light in spirit. The lift does not make you heavy. The lift frees you from attachment, from insecurity, from shame. The higher you go, the more you realize you don't need the things you once thought were essential. You don't need validation. You don't need revenge. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You just need to keep going. Every step forward confirms the promise. Every aligned action unlocks more favor. Every silent prayer you whispered in tears is echoing back now as open doors, divine encounters, peaceful days. This isn't coincidence, it's consequence. The natural result of staying faithful in the unseen. You didn't see the roots growing, but now the fruit is undeniable. The people who once overlooked you will begin to see you. The ones who dismissed your potential will now hear your name in places they never imagined. But this isn't about vindication. This is about confirmation. Confirmation that your spirit knew something before the world did. Confirmation that your purpose is stronger than your pain, that your destiny cannot be denied. You don't need to revisit the past to prove anything. You don't need to argue your transformation. You are the proof. Your peace is proof. Your glow is proof. Your alignment is proof. And as you keep walking, others will begin to ask, how did you do it? And your answer will be simple. I surrendered and I trusted the lift. You'll notice a different kind of success now. The kind that doesn't just show up in your bank account, but in your spirit, in your health, in your relationships, in your ability to rest without guilt, to create without fear, to love without conditions. This is holistic elevation, and it doesn't just bless you, it blesses everyone connected to you. Because your rising gives others permission to rise too. Your presence activates courage in those still finding their way. You're no longer just walking for yourself. You're walking for those watching silently, wondering if it's possible. You are the evidence they've been looking for. You are the reminder that the lift is real, and it's available to anyone who chooses alignment over fear. This is not the end of your rising. It's the beginning of your reign. The beginning of walking as one who is not just chosen, but commissioned. You have work to do, light to shine, truth to share. And now you have the spiritual posture to carry it. You've been lifted above the noise so you can speak with clarity. You've been pulled out of the chaos so you can lead with peace. So rise again and again and again. Not because life is perfect, but because you are positioned. Not because everything is easy, but because you are equipped. Not because you know all the answers, but because you are finally asking the right questions.